Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Mystery Files podcast.
Podcast.
I'm Logan LaMaster.
And I'm Tiffany Walker.
And you're watching, you guessed it, the Mystery Files.
Yay. Welcome to our show. If you haven't been here before, if you're an old listener, we love you. If you're new, we love you.
I'm gonna say at the top promo, follow us on the Instagram at the Mystery Files _
Yes.
on TikTok at the Mystery Files podcast. We're so fun and great and
beautiful.
You're gonna have so much fun if you follow us.
Yeah, and you get to see all of our silly little goofy little cases.
Maybe you could also send us a message if you are recommending any cases.
Yes.
We would love to see them.
We would love to see them.
And last time we talked about... Do you remember?
Lost Cities.
Lost Cities, exactly.
I was like, Machu Picchu, however you say it.
Yeah, Machu Picchu was the big takeaway.
Yes.
Huh?
Also, I think in the episode I might have mentioned something about it being connected to Emperor's New Groove, and it definitely is. I watched Emperor's New Groove after the fact. I don't know. I think I'm just a silly goose and didn't remember.
Because it's all like Peru like mythology, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Which
So I
is
was
really
like,
cool.
wow, Emperor's New Groove, and then I started watching the show again. So thanks for that. You've ignited my passion.
Oh my gosh, I remember watching The Emperor's New School.
Yes, it's
so
cute.
That was a rewatch I did a few years ago.
It's fun. It's like the best. Like in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, I'll put it on, and it's the perfect like fever dream of a show.
Oh my
I'm
god.
obsessed. I've also been watching. Did you ever watch that really terrible quality Bratz series?
Quality, like it's good?
No, bad quality.
Oh,
it's so
no.
bad it's good though. Like I literally cannot stop
I've
watching
seen
it.
clips. I've seen the movie, like the DVD ones. But...
Yeah, there's like an animated thing on YouTube, and someone announced like that the Barbie movies were all on YouTube, and I was like, I wonder if the Bratz ones are on YouTube. So I started watching the really terrible Bratz movies.
So funny.
Oh, I'm obsessed. It's like a whole series.
Isn't that the one where the what is it? That older white lady has like the two daughters. They're,
Yeah.
like, the blonde twins.
Yeah,
Or something.
they're like in all of them.
Their faces are like snatched.
They're
like
snatched.
So far back.
The one girl has like a little pore strip thing on her nose.
She does.
And they have their little pink dresses and their little weird dogs.
Is that what it is? It's a pore strip?
I don't know. It's either
She
that
has
or
like a Band-Aid on it.
Well,
all
I feel like it's
times.
either like a pore strip or it's like whenever people get like a nose job or something, they'll have like a little thing after. But like Miss
That's
Girl's been
crazy.
healing for a while if it's in all those movies or shows. I don't really know what they are. On YouTube, it's like a series. It's called a series. But like they're all like over an hour long.
So they're probably like the movie releases or something.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but I can't stop watching,
many
so I
are
recommend.
there?
I don't know. I'm still watching all of them. I haven't really checked how many there
That's so
are.
crazy.
But yeah, I
It's
recommend if you're looking for something to really like, just like numb your brain. Great.
Yeah.
Great
Just like
brain
a nice
numbing.
thing, like perfect.
But yeah.
Whenever I leave the cats, I'll turn on the Yu-Gi-Oh channel.
Oh,
There's a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and it live streams
cute.
Yu-Gi-Oh 24/7.
Aw.
So I have it on for them right now. So they're learning
I love that.
Duel.
As they should. I watched a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh the other day because I saw it was on.
Why?
I don't know. I saw it was on Netflix, and I was like, I want to watch some Yu-Gi-Oh and
Oh
like
my
bring back
gosh.
my childhood memories. And I did think of you. So I hope
Really?
you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I want in life is when people think about like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Club Penguin, Drag Race.
Club Penguin especially. Every time
Club
I see,
Penguin.
I'm like, wow, Logan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, things have been great. I love the mind numbing, and I hope either you enjoy this show or it can be mind numbing for you.
Yeah.
Whatever you want from it, you can get it. That's okay.
Have us turned on your way to work while
Yes.
you're cleaning. We're just your best friends here to tell you some fun or scary stories.
Scary,
I don't know.
fun.
It's not my week.
It's not your week. This will be a different style week, I will say.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
excited. You said that non-traditional.
It's very non-traditional, so I was trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to call it whenever you do the drum roll, but I think I'll figure it out. I think we'll figure it out together, and that's okay. But like there is a case, there's cases here.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Do you want to tell anybody who's an audio listener about your big change?
Oh my gosh, yes. Stop, it's like a thumbnail. Tiffany's big change. I got bangs.
She's got bangs.
Bangs. I got my hair cut. I got bangs.
Bang,
I
bang.
feel like I do kind of look like, what's her face from Stranger Things? The mom.
Winona Ryder.
Joyce. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah.
You're like Will.
Will!
It looks
Yeah.
good though.
Thank you. I feel like I do look like her a little bit. It's kind of weirding me out. I
do.
don't think I made that connection until this morning when my hair air dried, but I was like, wow. Really giving Joyce vibes. But yes, that's my big
You
change.
should go as her for Halloween.
I should. Stop.
You
Every
got
time I wear a flannel, I'm going to feel a little
A little.
Like I'm in Stranger Things.
Will.
I will say, I don't think it was like a harsh decision. I've been thinking about it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Although yesterday, I did have an incident that I think made me want to get it more because I had a really bad experience on the street.
Oh no, what happened?
So, yesterday I decided to get some Thai food.
Okay.
And I was walking on the street. I'm walking home from work with my Thai food. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to walk. This will be great. I'm not going to take the bus. It's a beautiful day. I'm carrying my food. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, my leg kind of feels breezy. What's going on here? And I look down. All of my Thai food, all of my noodles were spilling out of my bag all over my favorite overalls.
No!
All over my favorite overalls. There were some noodles that had been salvaged. I didn't have the energy to eat them yesterday because I was so angry, but they're all splattered on the street.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was very disappointed and angry. But I didn't cry though, so hey, that's gross.
It must be a week for that because Monday, me and Danny went to McDonald's to get Shamrock Shakes because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, of course.
And we got Shamrock Shakes in our food with fries.
Yeah.
And I didn't think to look, which is on us, but we got back to our place and it's like a 25-minute drive to this McDonald's.
Yeah.
They only had the fries in there. They didn't include our food.
No, that's so sad.
Yeah, I was on the phone with them. I was in my Karen era. I was like,
you said, excuse me.
Yeah, I was like, hello?
Hello.
I would like a refund, please.
I would like a refund. I did get a refund yesterday, too.
Well, that's good.
But I didn't call to be Karen.
Mm.
I mean, maybe I should have, because, that was really sad. But I mostly called because I was like, hey, just wanted to make sure you, check to see if, your bags are good or, your Tupperware containers, because I just had an incident on the street. I sent them a picture of my overalls, and the guy goes, oh, I'm so sorry. And keep in mind, I had 10 minutes left of my walk, so I have to walk the rest of the way home looking like I had some sort of altercation or something.
That's crazy.
I don't know, but I'll show you a picture after. It was very traumatic.
Oh my God.
But I still have some noodles in my fridge that I just don't have the heart to touch because that was really sad.
Sounds like we need to get food together then and hope for the best that it doesn't.
We do. And if you're eating food now, I hope you're enjoying it because you're going to need it for this case.
Oh.
You're going to need some good vibes.
Okay.
So are we ready?
Yeah, would you like a little drum roll, of course?
I would. For a second, I was like, what am I calling it again? Yes, I understand. Drum roll, please. This week on the Mystery Files podcast, I'll be presenting the cases of the Faces of Bélmez and Bloody Mary.
Oh, what?
So we have a double feature this week.
A double feature?
A double feature.
A creature feature?
A double creature feature. Featuring the creature. Yes. We're having two different cases this week. It's mostly because I think I might have talked about it on a couple episodes ago, maybe the last episode, how I really wanted to cover a case, but it was too short.
Bloody Mary?
So it was Bloody Mary, as I've said. But also, there's a case called The Faces of Bélmez, and that's a really cool case, but neither of them I felt like were substantial enough to create a whole episode. So we're going to be covering both of them, even though they're, varying in topics, but I thought it could be a fun little...
That's fun.
I'm excited. Little thing today. So, we've got lots of fun things. Ooh. So, to start off, we're going to be talking about The Faces of Bélmez. And our little link we're going to talk about is called ResearchGate. So that's a nice source for today.
Thank you, ResearchGate.
Thank you, ResearchGate. Love you the most. So, let's get peaceful and let's picture. Today we journey to a small, quiet town in southern Spain where strange, unexplainable phenomena would soon capture the attention of the world. This is the true story of the Faces of Bélmez. Yeah. So, Bélmez de la Moraleda, a humble Andalusian village, became the epicenter of a paranormal mystery in August of 1971. In a modest home on Calrell, a mother named Maria Gomez Camara began noticing strange discolorations on her kitchen floor.
What?
I know. So the concrete seemed to be changing. Faces slowly forming from the cracks, as though the floor itself were alive with expressions of sorrow, fear, and despair.
That's crazy.
So Miss Girl had this concrete in her kitchen, and she's like, wow, there's a little spot. Actually, these spots started changing and morphing into faces.
Oh my God. So it was like a different color from the floor, and it just started Oh.
It started morphing, and I also have some images if you'd like to see what they look like, because they're kind of gnarly.
I mean, I don't, but I also do, yes.
Okay, here's some.
Oh my god.
There's some of the faces. I'll be inserting photos for the people who are watching, but
this is crazy.
They all have some like really creepy expressions.
It is way more like distinct than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, you think,
like,
it's gonna be a smiley face. No, these are like, they look like human beings.
That looks like when the History Channel was doing, here's our biblically accurate depiction of Jesus.
No, it really does. And they're like, oh, it's been captured.
Yeah,
They've captured the essence of it. No, it's quite literally that. So yeah.
That's a soul in there, by the way.
That's quite literally a soul, which, interesting you say that. We'll get to that later. But what was really happening here? It all began innocently enough. Maria, feeling unwell, dismissed the first appearance as a fevered hallucination. So she was kind of just like, nah, it's not really a face, I'm just making it up. Mm-hmm. But when her son destroyed the strange mark, he found that it quickly reappeared. This time with more clarity. Yeah.
Oh, wait, so she tried to break it, you said?
Yeah, so her son, like, tried to get rid of it, tried to destroy it, and then, like, it reappeared. Yeah.
It reshaped it. That's crazy.
And it was more clear this time. So, like, it wasn't as clear the first time, and then it reappeared, and it was very clear.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so clearly it was defined staring up at them from the floor. So imagine
taking in the sights.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, you have some mold on your ceiling.
You should get that checked out. Come on now. So then she covered it with concrete, but no sooner had she done so, another face materialized.
That's crazy.
So pour on that concrete, reappear. So in this time, it wasn't just Maria who saw it. The mayor of Bélmez got involved. By November, the face had been cut from the floor and placed behind glass on the wall for display.
Wait, it was cut out for display?
Yeah, they cut it out of the floor to, like, place it behind glass on the wall to, like, display it because they thought it was so crazy. But also the fact the mayor got involved.
House or, like...
Yeah, this was, like, in her home.
So she just has it as, like, a nice little portrait. Like, oh, yeah, that's the face that, like, reappears
that's just
on my
the face
floor.
that's on my floor. that old thing. That's all it is.
It's like Monster House. That's the owner. Oh?
I don't know.
Oh?
I don't know. I'm liking all the theories so far. We'll see, though. We'll see. But this was only the beginning. So further investigation revealed something even more chilling. Excavations beneath her kitchen floor unearthed human remains without skulls. So we had some decapitated heads.
That's crazy.
So it was just the people.
In the basement?
This was just underneath the kitchen floor. So where we were seeing all those faces, they excavated that stone, all that concrete,
crazy.
And they found, like, human remains.
But no heads.
No heads.
That's crazy.
Which is kind of odd considering faces were appearing, but, like, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
The Predator?
What? So a dark, mysterious connection between the faces and the soil beneath the house seemed to form. Some believed that the house was built on an ancient graveyard. Yeah. Others suggested that the faces were linked to victims of the Spanish Civil War.
Oh.
Okay, so we got some different theories. We've got maybe it's a burial ground, like just a graveyard, or it's like victims of the war.
See, I thought it was a graveyard at first, but then like with the heads being missing, that kind of like goes towards more like
a more like traumatic situation. Because I feel like if it were a regular an ancient graveyard, we don't necessarily know what all they're throwing in an ancient graveyard, but
interesting.
I don't know. Despite these discoveries, the faces refused to stop. New ones would appear, old ones would change, and they seemed to respond to the presence of Maria almost as if they were connected to her very being.
Oh no.
I don't want to know what that means.
Oh my god, she's the caretaker.
Not the caretaker. The local community was divided. Some saw the faces as a religious miracle, while others believed it to be a trick of the mind. Skeptics began to descend on the house, including the scientific police from Madrid.
What?
So I don't know.
Scientific police?
I didn't know scientific police were a thing.
Yeah, what?
But I guess they have them in Madrid. But no one could explain away what was happening. For every explanation offered, new unexplainable details surfaced.
Whoa.
So the media caught wind of the strange events, and soon the world was watching. And among the first to take a serious interest was a German parapsychologist named Hans Bender. So this guy did a lot of research.
There's always got to be like one person who makes that their niche interest in life.
Yeah.
Every time we do one of these cases, there's one scientist, one researcher that's like, this is my thing. This
He's
is what
like,
I do.
this is mine.
This is my calling in life.
Me, I'm a parapsychologist. My name's Hans Bender. In 1972, Bender traveled to Bélmez hoping to document the phenomena. He worked alongside Spanish parapsychologist German de Argumosa, who had already been investigating the faces and had even captured what seemed to be paranormal voices, so electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, on tape. So this is like pretty cool they're capturing this that long ago. But as Bender's involvement deepened, so did the mystery. His investigation wasn't just about documenting paranormal events, it became about proving that the faces were not the work of trickery. Could these faces be the result of psychokinetic energy? Could Maria herself be the focal point of the strange phenomenon? The more they studied, the stranger the results. Faces would appear under plastic sheets, only to disappear when the sheets were removed. So the sheets would be removed and then things would like appear and disappear.
That's crazy.
And I think they had like put these things under plastic to see like what would happen. It was sort of like an experiment, and then like weird stuff would happen.
They're trying to see if they would like shape into like it or something.
Yeah, or just like really just experimenting to see like with what was going to happen.
That's so strange.
So yeah, so these faces would appear under the plastic sheets only to disappear when the sheets were removed. So like that's so visual. I'm just like picturing it's like and then it's gone
just like pulling like through or something.
Yeah.
Like,
So the local villagers who visited the house witnessed faces forming in real time. So there were like regular villagers who would come and see what was happening here.
Just going to hang out at the house.
Yeah, they're
hey,
like, ooh, they're like, I've heard about the faces here in this house. I'm about to come see it in this kitchen. So they would go and they would experience like faces forming in real time. So I feel like that's even more validating because it's not just like they're already there. You're there watching these things appear. I feel like I'd believe it more if I was watching it happen in real time. Because it's like, how is that happening?
I don't know why, but this reminds me of just like the feeling of like when you watch like a Polaroid like develop. Like you're just seeing it like phase in.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a great way to explain that.
Ooh.
But yeah, so people would experience them forming in real time, capturing moments of supernatural that defied explanation. So the theories ran rampant. Was this the manifestation of spirits? Some suggested the faces were teleplastics, so materialization of psychic energy. Others believed Maria was channeling spirits, victims of past war, their souls trapped in the floor of her home. But there was no definitive answer. Despite the best efforts of Bender and Argumosa and even an appearance on German television, technical issues prevented the kind of conclusive evidence they desperately sought. So, that's interesting. Technical issues. So the truth seemed elusive, and then things took an even stranger turn. Journalists who had once reported the phenomena in good faith began to backtrack. So people are starting to be like, oh, I saw this. No, I didn't. Like, they're taking back their statements on being in support or like believing it. That's the interesting thing. So alleged confessions were retracted. Fake news spread like wildfire. Claims that the photographer had manufactured the faces turned out to be fabricated. So that's like one of the things. Like people are like, oh, the photographer like actually faked
these.
Think
like they faked the photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I think there's just a lot of like media speculation. So I feel like it doesn't
People
necessarily.
Were there. The
yeah,
mayor
that's
was
the
there.
thing. Like the mayor was there. So Bender believed a government conspiracy was at play, an effort to discredit the phenomena and silence those who sought to explore them. But the faces of Bélmez never disappeared. They continued to appear, changing, evolving, staring up at the world. The faces of Bélmez remained a puzzle, an enigma that defied the rational mind. To this day, some believe the faces were the result of supernatural forces, others chalk it up to fraud, and many are left wondering what really happened in that kitchen in 1971.
My God.
And as for Maria Gomez Camara, she lived in this house until her death in 2004.
Oh, wow. She was
So
there for a while.
she was there for a while. So the faces remained even after her passing. And are they still there today? Or are they just a ghost of a mystery long buried? So yeah, the faces of Bélmez continue to fascinate, and the truth remains just out of reach. But one thing is for certain, they will never be forgotten.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
so,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How do you feel about that so far?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I feel like, I don't know. It's cool to, like, believe in. I think it's, like, real if, like, they have, like, these photos and, like, the girl was there and like she was seeing it happen and the mayor was there and she had like it up on like the wall. And it's like, how would the photographer even know about it? I think it's very interesting that like the scientific research they were doing on it just kind of got like tampered with, right? It got kind of like...
it got tampered with, and like there was some like technological errors or things that went wrong, but I don't know.
It's weird because you don't want to like necessarily like tinfoil hat it like everything's a conspiracy, but at the same time it's like I don't know. It feels so like because like they still did the LSD experiment
exactly
in time, and that sounds crazy.
I'm also like, why is the government trying to cover this up?
Yeah,
like, I just think it's odd that these faces would keep reappearing. Like that's really
especially if they're pouring concrete after concrete on it, and then they did tests with the plastic sheets and stuff. That's crazy.
Because I feel like if it were just a thing that they kept scrubbing the floor and it was reappearing, you could like argue that maybe it was like a mold or like something. But the fact that like it was they excavated the like floor and then they've poured concrete and they've done all these different things and like somehow faces are still reappearing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And they found bones there.
Yeah, they found human
real remains. Like which like
know.
even if we take out the faces appearing, like say it's all fabricated, that's still weird. That's still crazy that like they had like she had that there. Yeah. And she didn't even realize. That's crazy.
See? I think it's odd. I also feel like I kind of believe that like people did see these things, and I like the idea of like there's this bigger government conspiracy because maybe they like went to people and were like, you need to retract your statement and like threatened them. Like I just feel like it's like it reminds me of like an episode of the X-Files.
I mean, did this happen in what was it, the 70s?
Yeah, 1971 is when it began, and it kind of was like an ongoing thing, and then she had passed in 2004, the owner.
See, I could believe that because like they're very hush hush about like the LSD experiments they like did here, and then there's another thing we've covered where like the government has like looked into like psychic things with like ghosts, telekinesis, like all this really interesting stuff. So it's like I don't think it's like too far fetched, especially for a government that's not even of our own.
Yeah, like
to
in
do
Spain,
something like that.
I'm like, we don't know what they can hide over there. I don't know. I'm just so intrigued by it. Also, the idea that like the government would hide something paranormal is so interesting to me because we do have all of like they're hiding all these other things from us that like have been discussed in the world, like aliens and like that kind of stuff. But the idea of like something paranormal, why are you hiding it from us? What's the bigger reason? I don't know.
What do you know about those faces?
What do you know about those faces of Bélmez? It's kind of like...
What a terrifying name, by the way, for a story.
I know.
They did a movie about this yet? They should.
They should.
Or a book?
Let's take a look.
Book, movie, anything?
Well, I think there's definitely books.
I don't read books, though, so I want a movie, actually.
You said, give me a movie.
Give me a movie.
A movie.
Looks like...
99.9?
I have no idea what
it might be like a take on it. Oh. It's a Spanish horror film, but I'm not sure if it's about this
It might be, then.
So, we'll look into it later.
Watching it.
Guess we're going to have to look to find out. Wow. But yes, that was the first case of our double feature. But
loved it.
I wanted to share her because I was like, she is so cool. She was shorter.
She's so unique, though.
I know. I was like, that's just such an interesting story. So I felt like I had to share.
Like the faces are just so. Ooh.
I know.
We should include them in like the thumbnail and stuff, so people can like see it and be like, what is that?
They click on there like, what are those faces on there? They're the floor faces, silly goose.
They're the floor faces.
Oh,
you know that if you watch the episode.
If you watch the episode, you're sitting wondering. So our second installment in our double feature is the true story of Bloody Mary.
I'm thirsty.
So we have a couple of different like websites, but the main one was this website called Slay Away With Us.
SlayAwayWithUs.com. Okay, word.
But
your slay away.
Yeah, I'm like, I love that, and I think it's because there's a lot of like commentary on like sexism and stuff in this one at the end. So I think like maybe that's part of why it was from this website, but I'm like, Slay Away With Us. Okay.
Like that.
We like it. So let's talk about the true story of Bloody Mary. What is childhood without a few good old-fashioned scary stories? Stories are told in secret, away from the prying eyes and ears of adults. When I was a child, my friends and I would whisper these stories to each other between bus seats while exchanging food over the lunch table, or while waiting in the forever expanding line to the bathroom. There's one story told by children far and wide. It was a game we'd play to scare each other. Each time it was told, there was a looming shadow of terror behind the storyteller's eyes. They would whisper the name, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. As if they were afraid she would hear her name and suddenly appear. Mm-hmm. Did you ever play Bloody Mary as a child?
I don't know.
Did you have friends that did?
Maybe. I think, like, yeah. Okay. I don't know if I've ever played it, because I think I was too scared.
Yeah, I was
already seeing demons a little bit.
You said, so I didn't need any
I didn't need more. They were already there. I mean, I've been to sleepovers where they did it, but I, like, cried and made my mom You're like, I don't want to go here.
I don't want to go here. Well, because I had friends that, like, lit all these candles around their house and were starting to do it. And I was like, guys, if you do this, I'm going to leave. And then I started crying and was, like, sitting in this room by myself while they did it. And they turned all the lights off in their house. And, like, I feel like a sleepover as a kid is already scary enough. But to have no lights in this strange house and it's just candle lit. Yeah. And everyone's talking about demons. I'm like
horror.
Yeah, it was awful. And I love scary things. But I'm not inviting nothing up in here. Like. Yeah. So, yeah, that was, like, the main time. And then I remember, like, watching stuff with Bloody Mary. Like, I feel like there's a Haunting Hour episode. It's like Scary Mary. It's like a take on Bloody Mary.
I feel like that's where I probably have seen it. I don't think I've ever played it myself, but I feel like I've seen her depicted so many times, and they're all, like, terrifying.
Yeah, like,
either like she's got no skin, or she's just, like, really old and, like, vampire-ish almost, like long nails, talent, like demon, like.
Yeah. She'll eat you.
Yeah, she's scary.
She'll rip your eyes out. There's all these different ways.
Oh yeah, the ones where she has no eyes.
Yeah, she has black eyes, and then, like, she'll take your eyes.
Oh.
I'm like, Miss Girl, no.
There's a Goosebumps episode about it, isn't there?
Maybe. I just know Haunting Hour. But Haunting Hour is, like, basically Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it the one where, like, someone gets, like, thrown through the mirror? Like, they get grabbed?
Maybe.
What am I thinking of? I think that's a Goosebumps or
it might
Haunting
be.
Hour.
We'll have to look it up, because I love the Goosebumps and Haunting Hour ones.
Once you've seen every R.L. Stein thing, they start to, like,
they all start to mesh together, but that's okay. We love them all the same. But yeah, so I have a little bit of experience. You have a little, like, knowledge
pop culture,
about. Yeah, we got the pop culture references. So, back to the story. When I told the chilling tale, I would say, there is a woman that lives in the mirror. Something terrible happened to her. Something unspeakable. I'd pause for dramatic effect as my peers rummaged their minds for all of the possibilities. At midnight, if you go into the bathroom with all of the lights off, stand in front of the mirror and say her name 3 times, she will appear. But be careful, because she will never leave your mirror once you do. Oh. She will haunt you forever. Woo.
I didn't know that. I didn't know she stays forever. I thought she just
forever.
Like takes your soul and she's like, all right, I'll head out.
I'll head out. Well, I think there's just so many different renditions of it, or like variations of the story. It's like she'll haunt you forever. She'll take your eyes. She'll kill you. She'll. I don't know.
Forever seems the scariest, though.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean forever? My soul forever? That's not yours.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. That's literally my soul. Leave it alone. Literally leave it alone. So they would stand there, mouths open, the blood rushing from their faces, before inevitably asking, what is her name? I would pause for a moment before whispering, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Cue the anxious gulps and shifting of little feet. So then it would be Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Say it 3 times, whatever. The story scared me too, but it was also thrilling. Admittedly, I spent my fair share of sleepovers forcing my terrified friends into the bathroom to see if we could summon her. We never actually saw her, just our dark silhouettes staring back at us in the mirror. It was enough to freak us out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, I guess I never thought about it like that. Like, maybe your own silhouettes are freaking you out. I've never thought about that. Oh, that's so funny.
Well, I feel like also part of it is, like, when you're looking in a dark mirror, it's already, like, not inviting good energy in the first place. Like, you're never supposed to look into a dark mirror. Yeah. Or, like, never supposed to put a mirror behind a mirror and, like, look through those. Because, like, portals and stuff. But, like, specifically looking into a mirror in the dark is not.
I didn't know that.
It's inviting stuff. Also, like, you can...
Oh, for real?
I mean, you can look at it, but I wouldn't, like, stand there for, like, a couple minutes and just stare with, like, nothingness. Like, if you have a goal to, like, I need to fix my hair in the dark, sure, do you.
Okay.
But, like, don't be just, like, staring at yourself in the mirror. Because then also people have said stuff like their reflection has changed and, like, because something can take over and, like, maybe you'll have, like, a little crooked smile in the dark. And that's not you smiling. Who's smiling? Like,
yeah, like, your shadow person. Your mirror you.
Your mirror you. You don't want to mess with mirror you. I don't know. But we're going to get into just, I think, like, maybe 3 Reddit stories of some people who have, because we love a Reddit. I mean, I love a Reddit story. We just love them here. So I'm going to share 3 different stories, and then we'll get into more about the history of Bloody Mary after.
Okay.
So, story 1. Back in elementary school, I walked into the 3rd grade bathroom, and saw a group of girls checking in all of the stalls and talking excitedly. I asked what they were doing. They said they were about to play Bloody Mary. Having recently heard about this game and out of curiosity, I asked if I could stay and watch. They said yes. They closed the door, turned off the lights, and chanted the name 7 times while turning around facing the row of mirrors. We turned to look towards the sound of the stall door in the furthest back corner, and it was shaking, banging, and moving in an abnormal, impossible manner, not opening and closing as a bathroom stall door should, rapidly back and forth from top to bottom. Through the side slat of the door, I saw a female with dark hair in long, dark burgundy dress.
Yep.
So, yeah, we've got that sort of, like, witchy, old-timey vibe.
I've seen
long black hair.
I know her.
Long burgundy dress. So, my knees wobbled like jello. It actually felt like time slowed, and we were all frozen to our spots for what felt like an eternity. Entranced to watch this terrifying scene until someone screamed and time returned to us. We all ran screaming just outside the bathroom and stopped to catch our breath, then started talking about what we had just seen. Some passerby students stopped to listen, and we were a mixture of disbelief and fearful. A nearby teacher had come over to calm us. She said this was nonsense. This is why it was discouraged to even play this game. She insisted we all go back inside to investigate so she could prove there was nothing there. Some refused, some agreed. Those of us who did, the initial group plus a few newcomers, cautiously went back in. The teacher started opening all of the stall doors. Empty. No one in any of them. I know. First off, I feel like I'd be so freaked out to go back in there. I mean, I know you have a teacher, but, like, imagine.
Don't go back.
She's, like, opening all of them, like, haha, nothing's in here. I'm like,
and
girl.
your teacher gets snatched?
Yeah, I'm like, girl, why are you playing?
Right?
No. So she said either another student must have been part of all of it as a setup or was in the stall overhearing the plan and intentionally tried to scare us. So, I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
For children, that's kind of valid.
How'd she escape, though?
Yeah, how'd she get out? I don't know. And then ran out after we all did.
Well.
So, okay. We had to tell her no one was in any of the stalls aside from the group. They had all checked beforehand. Sure they did. We told her we had ran out and stopped right outside the entrance exit door, so it was impossible that anyone could have left without all of us seeing them. Okay, I'm believing it so far.
Just like you're there and like you just see a girl running behind you guys like,
who's that? It's the girl.
She got out.
She's
out.
10. She came out of the toilet. She said no one was to use that bathroom the rest of the day without a staff member present. Anyone caught playing this game again, even heard mentioning the name Bloody Mary, was going to be in big trouble. It was banned throughout the entire school. The door and especially the dress are the scenes I keep remembering. As I got older, I'd recall that it was reminiscent of something worn in earlier centuries. So, like the dress that lady was wearing.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I kind of want to believe it. I feel like that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is something that this, like, storyteller, this person who experienced it, like, clearly still remembers to this day.
Yeah.
It seems like they are an adult at this point in life. So,
and remembers it so vividly still.
Yeah.
It's, like, interesting that, like, the teachers had to, like, accompany them and stuff. It's like, what are you worried about?
I don't know. Yeah, if you're so worried, then why do you have to go with everyone all day?
Yeah.
And also, why are you so scared of them saying the name again? Like,
what I'm interested in is, like, I guess, like, school bathrooms don't really have a lot of windows now that I'm thinking about it. Most school bathrooms are, like, dark. They don't want you to look out at all.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes they'll have a window, like, at the very top of the room, but, like, obviously no one could
So it's probably dark enough in there to even play that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of believe it. Clearly made an impact on some people, and, like, the teachers were a little upset about it, so upset for what?
This is so off topic, but did you get your doors taken off to your bathrooms in high school? Like
the stalls?
No, like the entrance.
I don't think so.
Like how how like at malls they don't have like doors like to like go into it. Like,
I mean, I think in middle school we didn't have like main doors for the room, like because it was like one bathroom, and you kind of just went in. But like in high school and stuff, I think there were doors.
That's nice.
On the actual. Why would they not?
They took ours off. So, like, because I guess, like, people would just stay in there and, like, hang out and, like, stuff and just, like, get into hijinks. So, if you were in there, they could, like, hear you from outside because the door isn't, like, covering it. So we lost privileges of, like, having...
That's insane. I mean, I feel like
so we could not
now they probably should just take those kind of things off anyway. But...
It's true. But I was like, dang.
You're like, I just wanted my bathroom door.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. None of it.
But we could never play Bloody Mary there, so.
No, darn.
Darn.
Next time. I mean, I feel like a locker room would be a really good place to play Bloody Mary because they're so dark in there. You just turn the lights off.
They're terrifying.
One time the light shut off in my locker room in high school and I was really scared. I don't know why they shut off. Maybe they were on a timer and like, I don't know why they shut off. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it was really scary. But Bloody Mary and that, absolutely not.
Not for me.
Not for me. So story number 2. I had one experience with Bloody Mary. I was about 8 years old and was having a play date with these 2 sisters that lived on the 5th floor of the building my dad was the superintendent of. These girls and I were always doing some weird stuff for our age, even going as far as playing with the Ouija board. But that's a different story. Anyways, we were always bored out of our minds, and this day we decided to play Bloody Mary in the bathroom. We walked into the bathroom, shut off the lights, turned our backs to the mirror, and called her name 3 times. We turned to face the mirror at the same time, and we all apparently saw something because we got out of that bathroom so quick, screaming at the top of our lungs like there was no tomorrow. It was not until we reached the common laundry room of the building that we finally had the courage to tell each other what we saw. Apparently, we all saw a white flash of light coming from the mirror. One girl claimed to see a hand holding a bloody knife in the light.
Oh.
All I know is we were scared and never dared to play that again.
Oh.
Oh, that is really scary.
A bloody knife? Oh.
Yeah, imagine.
A white hand, they said?
Well, they said there was just like a white flash of light in the mirror.
Oh.
And then the one person saw like a knife in like a bloody hand. Ooh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know how people play things like this in like the home they live in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never be able to go back in there. Do it at someone else's house. I mean, even then I'd be scared to go back. But like,
right.
I feel like I already have issues with like seeing stuff in the mirror or like being afraid of seeing something in the mirror. So like if I were to do that in the comfort of my own home, I like wouldn't be able to take a bubble bath in my bathroom anymore. Like I'd be too scared. Cause what if I look up and there's Mary?
You can't light a candle or anything. Or
no.
She's like, hey.
It's like this is supposed to be a cozy time, and I'm about to have a panic attack because Mary's gonna show up because we did it one time. Like, I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
No. So I mean, as a kid, maybe you kind of forget, but
yeah.
No, I would not forget. So story number 3. I did it once when I was younger by myself before bedtime. Nothing happened, but when I went to bed that night, I ended up having a really vivid dream. In that dream, I was in my bedroom, and the wallpaper on the walls started melting, and I heard a woman laughing nonstop. I tried to run out of the bedroom, but the doorknob went missing. I turned around and noticed something in my small mirror by my bed. I ended up smashing the mirror, and actually woke up to the same mirror on the floor and my hand cut.
Oh.
So was this a dream or was this real? What do you mean?
Sounds like a maybe like the ghost of her could have been like possessing her or something to like try to get her to like reach out to her or something.
But I'm like, this person says it was like a vivid dream.
Yeah.
But like something actually happened though.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
She smashed the mirror in the dream and woke up with
sleepwalking.
I guess so. But like being slightly aware like that, you're aware enough to like recognize the mirror, smash the mirror, and your hand is actually cut. In real life, it is cut when you wake up. So then it like begs to question like what from this experience else was real. Like I'm just picturing like the woman laughing nonstop and your walls, your bedroom wallpaper melting off your wall.
See, that's the thing. That's the stuff that freaks me out. Like I know like dreams can have like so many different like possibilities and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like if I'm having a horror nightmare like in my dreams, like it's a wrap. Like
it's a wrap. We don't need to keep bringing more here. I'm okay. I'm supposed to be peaceful right now.
Yeah.
This is not peaceful.
Not at all. But like, and then it feels like there's so much power there because like it's vulnerable.
It's vulnerable. Like, yeah. You're like, this is my safe place. Don't do that. So those were the 3 Reddit stories I have for us today.
Nice.
But we're just gonna talk a little bit about who Bloody Mary is in terms of like real life. So let's talk about her lore a bit. So she can't have just appeared. This urban legend has been passed through time from one frightened child to the next. Bloody Mary originated from the infamous Queen Mary Tudor of England that ruled during the 1600s. So it was written in the myth of Bloody Mary that Mary was subjected to sexism, a shifting national identity, and good old-fashioned propaganda, all of which coalesced to create the image of an unchecked tyrant that endures today.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So born February 18th, 1516, Mary Tudor was the living child of King Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Henry...
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
That's
crazy.
So Henry, frustrated by the lack of a male heir, declared his marriage to Catherine null in 1533. The separation of their union effectively declared Mary illegitimate, and when her father married Anne Boleyn, Mary became a lady in waiting for her half-sister Elizabeth I. Mary fought hard to become Queen of England, and once in power, she revealed her intent to reinstate Catholicism as the true religion. This is where the legend of Bloody Mary begins. So, Sully notes that Mary's claim to her bloody fame was because she ordered 280 Protestants burned to the heretics.
What?
So, she had, ordered 280 Protestants to be, burned at the stake, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's kind of, the main thing that gave her this, phrasing of Bloody Mary, because there was so much bloodshed, on her hands.
Yeah, because of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was almost, thirsty for it, almost.
Yeah.
That's just, she's a bad person.
Yeah.
Which I guess is probably most demons.
Yeah, most demons. Yeah. But burning at the stake was a common practice for crimes against the crown, so therefore it's impossible not to take notice of the historical disparities. Mm-hmm. In her article, What Inspired Queen Bloody Mary's Gruesome Nickname, Una Michelvena writes that Mary's punishment of choice was a common practice for the time. All over Europe, the punishment for heresy was not only death, but also the total destruction of the heretic's corpse to prevent the use of the body parts for relics. Essentially, heretics were burned at the stake and their ashes were thrown into the river. So why was Mary Tudor singled out as such a terrible tyrant if the practice was so common? According to Sully, propaganda had a lot to do with it, while the references John Foxe in his book The Acts and Monuments, also known as Foxe's Book of Martyrs. It details each and every martyr who died for his or her faith under the Catholic Church. Oh. The book includes highly detailed woodcuts depicting the gruesome torture and burning of Protestant martyrs surrounded by flames. And in the first edition, 30 of the 57 illustrations depict the executions under Mary's reign. So, how could you not feel their pain when every detail of someone's death is presented to you? So this was Fox's successful argument. Foxe and the media worked fervently to crucify Mary and damage her reputation. Fox's argument was sexist. Mary was not just a woman in power. She was the very first queen regnant, a queen who ruled the country as its primary monarch. In other words, Mary Tudor was the first woman to rule as an absolute leader. In a patriarchal society when men and women were forced to conform to narrow stereotypes, Mary's bloody reign must have appeared gruesome. It was a common belief that women were weak. Therefore, Mary was likely seen as an aggressive anomaly. Oh. Men are considered naturally violent, so when a man in power sentences someone to burn at the stake, that person must have deserved it, right? We all know that gender roles in society have never been fair and balanced. However, exercising her rights as a powerful leader wasn't enough for Mary, and as the first woman in regimented power, she wed Philip II of Spain in 1545, crowning him the joint sovereign of England until Mary's death in 1558. As Sully argued, Mary's gender played a pivotal role in the formation of her image. They wrote, most experts agree that the Spanish marriage had an adverse effect on Mary's reputation, painting her, however unfairly, as an infatuated, weak-willed woman who placed earthly love ahead of the welfare of her country. So people were just putting her down as a leader because she was a woman and did anything to make her seem like she was not capable or like she was a bad person for doing this, which obviously ethically you shouldn't be killing that many people. I'm just going to say that. But
it's a crazy stance.
But for them crazy stance. But for everyone at that time to have let the men who were ruling at the time do stuff like this,
all that, and it was normal. That happened.
They're just a leader. They're a strong leader, but it's because they were a man. And as soon as a woman, they were thinking it was awful.
That's so crazy.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. So everything is still King Henry VIII's fault.
Yeah.
Everything. That's crazy.
Literally everything.
King Henry just sucked really bad is the takeaway I'm getting to.
It's what we're understanding.
He's such an awful person.
Just a terrible person.
It's crazy. I mean, I knew that already, but I didn't know about... That's so crazy.
You didn't know about this. But I feel it important to note, although it feels obvious that Mary's father, Henry VIII, had married and divorced several women during his reign, breaking from the Catholic Church as the first sovereign to dissolve a marriage. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he was the first sovereign to dissolve a marriage.
Yeah.
Why was no one up in arms about this? Maybe they were, but
they might have been. I remember he begged a priest to like denounce the marriage. He's like, please,
dissolve it. But I'm like, okay, some people keep wanting to like dig at her as a leader when Mr. Man is doing stuff like this. So while he fielded criticism for it, he was not called spineless and weak like Mary was. So Mary's public perception during her reign and marriage clearly highlights societal views on women at the time. Bloody Mary is a vicious cultural icon because she was a woman in power who acted like a woman in power. She failed to uphold gender norms and because of that would be demonized for centuries to come. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it just became like a joke to people, like a cultural like joke people talked about a lot. Like I remember when that woman went crazy and like killed people
all those
and
people.
like Tyrant. Yeah. When it's like every other like monarch did that too. So they're probably like, oh yeah, King Henry, he was a little weird, but he was cool.
He was cool. He was a man, so he's fine. Like,
yeah, that's so interesting.
But I just feel like I'm respecting where this article is coming from because I'm like, okay, finally someone is like, yeah. Like, there's some weird double standards happening here, and she just got the brunt of, like, the sexism.
And it's definitely, like, it's hard to, like, be on, like, Bloody Mary's side, but it's, like, you know, it's interesting, because it's just, like, it's terrible. It's so bad.
It's awful. Oh my gosh, yes.
But it's just, like...
I'm sure to be murdering people like that.
Yeah, but it's, like, it's just, like, crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that,
yeah,
like...
it's just the double standard.
Just dogging on her for that is so crazy.
Yeah.
Dogging her for the other stuff.
I'm like,
we're missing the point.
Maybe talk about, like, what she is doing wrong as a leader. I don't know. Instead of, like, coming for her as a woman, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
There's other ways we can go about it.
It's like, oh, her killing people is fine, but being a woman is where I draw the line.
I draw the line.
That's crazy.
And because she did it, it's even worse. She's actually Satan, so we should be careful.
Bloody.
She's Bloody Mary. So it is entirely possible that the woman in the mirror that my elementary school friends and I talked about had nothing to do with Mary Tudor. I find it unlikely, but some think that Bloody Mary is a reference to Countess Elizabeth Bathory d'Este, the Hungarian noblewoman. So there's, like, other perspectives, too. Okay. So some people think, like, it might have been Mary Tudor, and then we have this other side that it may have been this other person that we'll talk about a little bit. It could have been both. So it's just, like, where all of these historical aspects are coming into play here. So, the Hungarian noblewoman and 4 of her servants were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of people from 1590 to 1610. There were rumors that she bathed in the blood to retain her youth. Bathory was imprisoned in her home, the castle of Segest, where she later died.
It's crazy that I said vampire.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It was like literally vampire.
Yeah.
It's vampire type stuff.
It is vampire type stuff. So the legend of Bloody Mary may have originated from the story of Mary Worth, a Puritan woman who was tried and executed for witchcraft. Like all urban legends, it depends on who told you the story. So whether Queen Mary I or the woman accused of witchcraft, these Marys were real victims of misogyny. So Mary Tudor, who is the most consistently brought up in Bloody Mary origin stories, was merely a woman born into a brutally patriarchal society. While I don't condone her actions, I understand how they were met with considerably more hostility than similar actions from her male counterparts. While I will not be repeating Bloody Mary in front of my mirror anytime soon, the story of how society repeatedly demonizes women will stay with me. I think it's important that these stories be told from new perspectives.
Wow.
So that's kind of like the whole other side of like the Bloody Mary story. I truly just think it was something that like people might have said a couple times, like maybe in relation to one of these Marys that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then it's escalated into like this legend of Bloody Mary.
Well, it's possible it was like all of them.
Yeah.
To like an extent. Like there could have been just like a lot of people like mocking like all those people and like it coming together and like cultivating that. And from what I understand too, I feel like maybe Mary's like a really popular name at that time.
Oh my gosh,
so, like,
yeah, I'm sure.
I feel like Bloody Mary like makes perfect sense as like a name too, you know? It's interesting because like I don't know why, but I thought Bloody Mary was like, I never really thought about the lore, but I thought she was like a victim of something, like a type of like
I thought
revenge.
That too, but I don't know if, like, I thought maybe revenge, but I thought there was also some sort of story about, like, there was a mirror factory, and I know like part of this is in like a supernatural episode.
Oh yeah,
too.
I've heard that.
But like I've heard stories about like there was a mirror factory and a woman named Mary was there, and there was a fire or something, and she died in a fire.
I've heard the fire one, yeah.
But like when I was trying to look up like all of these different stories that I like sort of remembered, I couldn't really find
like a real
like information to back it up. But like mentioning those, it's like we hear all these different like backstories from like whatever we found in life, and it's just interesting.
It's like a lot of like hearsay, I guess. With,
yeah.
like, her and stuff. Like maybe like it's never been like written or like, I don't know, like documented in that way.
Yeah.
Like of the mirror idea and stuff. That's so interesting.
I've also heard stories like in adjacent to this. I don't know if they're also part of Bloody Mary exactly, but I've heard stories about like when you say Bloody Mary, like sometimes if you can like act like you're rocking a baby and like a baby will appear. Like I've heard like different variations of it.
Well, I wonder if that's like branched off, because like when I was thinking about this and I said the like victim thing, I was thinking about like La Llorona again, because it's just like she's literally this like demon thing because of like the victim stuff that happened with her kids, yada yada. So it's just like interesting. Like that's just like there's so many different tidbits about Bloody Mary. It's crazy.
But yeah, so those were our 2 stories for our double feature today.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a shorter episode, but that's okay. That's fun.
That's fine. We got a 2-for-1 special.
We got a 2-for-1
bang
special.
For your buck.
More bang for your buck. So I guess going off these 2 stories, we have The Faces of Bélmez and we have Bloody Mary. Which case like resonated the most with you? Like, did you believe one over the other? Like, kind of where are you sitting after both of these?
I like The Faces of Bélmez a lot. I thought that was really cool. I like that there's not maybe a whole lot of evidence to like what happened, like background of like knowing how they got there.
Yeah.
The faces are terrifying. I thought it was really interesting. The one I believe more though is Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
I think I could really, even in like 2025, could see us like picking somebody to be misogynistic to and start calling them a certain name, you know, and just like doing that. So I think that one is like the most believable. I cannot believe like she's just like she's literally just like a not her, but she's like a misogynistic take on like women. It's so crazy. Like, you're telling me she's like a nasty rumor from like hundreds of years ago?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't do this stuff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She didn't do this stuff.
She did do it.
She did do that stuff. We don't say it's good, but also let's not hate women because they're women. I don't know. That's kind of my take. Crazy, I know. Crazy, I know.
It's Women's History Month, so.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Sorry, woman. I mean, I'm a woman. I love it all. I get canceled for being
You didn't know?
I get canceled for being a woman who doesn't know it's Women's History Month. Yay! Well, that's actually why I chose this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it on your face. That's what you knew. You knew it was Women's History Month.
I knew because I'm a woman. I knew internally. Haha. So, for me, I think I also resonate with like the Bloody Mary one the most.
Yeah.
But I do really like The Faces of Bélmez, just because I'm like, that is so fascinating, the fact that they kept like
so weird.
Excavating that floor and pouring more concrete and stuff kept appearing, and I like the idea of this whole possible government conspiracy trying to like cover it up.
Yeah.
Like I'm picturing like Men in Black style. They got that pen that wipes the memory. They're like, no Faces of Bélmez, da 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 da. Like,
there.
I feel like that's so cool. So I like that whole like conspiracy aspect of that, and also the idea of the paranormal being considered with it, because like they had all those decapitated bodies under their floor. Like, that is insane. Weird. I feel like in general that could just be the case, because why were those under there? And why they build a whole kitchen in a house on top of that?
Like, ignore the paranormal part for a second. Like, we need to talk about this. How'd they get there?
They got a lot of bodies under there. Like,
you guys aren't going to test the DNA?
We're not going to test the DNA? Like, maybe we should just check to see what's going on.
For real.
And part of me is, like, maybe those faces appearing was, like, those souls trying to, like, communicate. Wow. It was those souls trying to be found, trying to be heard. So, crazy. I don't know. They just wanted, because, like, obviously they didn't have heads. So, like, it was interesting that their faces were the only things to appear. I just feel like that's so interesting. So, I really like that case. And really then, just all the stuff we talked about already with the Bloody Mary situation. And then also just having, like, a soft spot in my heart for just, like, the paranormal aspects of growing up and, like, saying it in the mirror, even though I never did it. It's kind of still nostalgic, because I'm like, you go to a sleepover and get scared half to death, and now you have to go home because you're scared. You're the one that's really scared.
Yeah, I doubt any kids knew the lore of Bloody Mary, so hopefully this was eye-opening for a lot of people, because I didn't know. I had no idea. Like,
I knew there was some sort of connection, but I didn't know exactly what the roots were.
No clue.
So, yeah, those are our cases today.
Wow. So great.
So we'll go to our conclusion, I guess.
Yes.
So in conclusion, I guess the truths behind the faces of Bélmez and Bloody Mary will forever remain a mystery. Yeah.
I'll dance with my hands above my head, loud Jesus said.
I'm gonna dance. Why?
Bloody Mary. That's the name of the song.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oopsie.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this style of case. It was different, but I liked it.
It's refreshing.
So, thank you.
Please like, follow, give us 5 stars, subscribe wherever you are. Supporting us really helps. Just even leaving a comment about what you thought about the cases. What was your favorite case?
What case do you want to see next? Let us know. We just like to hear from you guys. So just send us a little message. We would love that. Go and follow us, and we will see you next time for Logan's case.
All right. Goodbye.